What's up, guys? So, I want to draw some parallels in this video between Galicia and Alaska. Now, if you didn't know, I am Spanish. I'm part Spanish with family roots in northern Spain and Galicia. And I want to draw some parallels between Galicia and Alaska in terms of infrastructure. Both Galicia and here's the thing with Galicia, it's becoming depopulated. People are leaving Galicia in big numbers and moving to places like Madrid, Bilbao, Valencia, Sevilla in large numbers. And same thing with Alaska. People are leaving Alaska and moving to Seattle, San Francisco, Portland, Minneapolis, New York, and Boston and Chicago in big numbers, and to Denver as well, and Phoenix as well. Why? Lack of education opportunities to further your education, get your associate's degree or your bachelor's degree. Lack of public transportation in Galicia. Only like the larger cities like Vigo and Santiago de Compostela and La Coruña, they have bus systems. They don't have a metro like Bilbao or like Vitoria-Gasteiz or Madrid or Valencia or Sevilla. They don't have a metro like those places. They do have a bus system. And Anchorage, Juneau, Fairbanks all have a bus system, but no metro or no light rail. Seattle has a light rail, right? Portland has a metro called the MAX. Oakland and San Francisco have a metro and a light rail system called the BART and the Muni, right? So there's one difference. There's one similarity between those two, and it's why people are leaving. Also, Galicia has the most sparsely populated town. They have the lowest population density in Spain, in all of Spain. Alaska, lowest population density in the United States. The main difference between the two is Galicia is on the mainland. Galicia is connected to the rest of Spain, to Castilla y León and Asturias. And Alaska is disconnected from the rest of the United States because of Canada, even though most of Alaska is on the mainland, with the exception of Sitka, Ketchikan, Kodiak, and Unalaska Dutch Harbor, Macoriac, Savunga, places like that, right? Kaktovik is another example that is of a place that is not on the mainland of North America, but is still part of Alaska, right? But that's the parallel I see with my family's home region, because in the Iberian Peninsula, my family are largely from Galicia. And then there's one branch that are from the northern part of Portugal, the area around Bragança. But most of them are from like Ponte de Ume, Rivadavia, Quiroga, areas like that in Galicia. And the last names tell me that they are from Galicia and in Spain and Bragança in Portugal, right? So both my ancestral homeland and my birthplace are losing their smart people with potential due to lack of infrastructure. Another factor is poverty. Both Galicia and Alaska have hella poverty. In terms of northern Spain, Galicia is the most impoverished. In terms of the United States, there is hella poverty in Alaska. Now, Alaska is not the most impoverished because of all the oil money. But there is hella poverty here in Alaska. In urban Anchorage, as well as in certain areas of Southwest Alaska, and certain areas of interior Alaska and other parts of South Central Alaska that are not Anchorage, there's hella poverty. In northern Spain, Galicia is the most impoverished region of northern Spain. They do not have the wealth that the Basque Country does. They do not have the wealth that Catalunya does, or that La Rioja does, or Navarra does, They're like fourth or fifth most impoverished region of Spain. First is Andalusia, again, no surprise. Second, Extremadura. Third would either be, I believe it's La Canaria, but I could be wrong on that. Elche has poverty. Valencia, La Comunidad Valenciana, has a great standard of living, but there is poverty there. Okay? And then you have Galicia and then Asturias. The two most impoverished places in the north of Spain are Galicia and Asturias. I can draw hella parallels between my ancestral homeland of Galicia, northern Spain, and between the place I was born in, Alaska. The poverty, the lack of infrastructure, the sparse population density, low population density, the fact that there's not that opportunity for education or for jobs, which is why hella people are leaving. Again, and the fact that in Galicia under Franco, Gallegos were suppressed of their national identity as an internal colony sort of within Spain. In Alaska, there was Jim Crow against Inupiaq, Yupik, Athabaskan, and Tlingit people. So that's another parallel. Repression from the government. Because there's the Gallego language, which is similar to Portuguese. I don't speak Gallego, but I do speak Spanish, obviously. But under Franco, Gallego was not taught as a second language. Just like under Jim Crow and during the residential schools, students who were Inupiaq and Yupik could not learn. They were punished for learning Yuktun and Inupiaqtun. So there's another parallel. What I'm trying to say is that Galicia is, in some ways, is the Alaska of Europe. Galicia is an internal colony, so both the place I was born in, Alaska, and the place my family roots are in, Galicia in northern Spain, are internal colonies and have suffered and have internal colonies in them and have suffered massively. Now, why do you think all these English and Scottish are buying abandoned Gallego houses? These English and Scottish expats. And you see the same thing right farther south in Portugal. These English and Scottish expats are buying up properties. So families that move to Madrid or to Bilbao or to Valencia or Sevilla for a better life, they can't return to their properties. I see hella parallels. And as much as I'm proud of my Gallego roots, my roots from Galicia, and I'm proud of who my ancestors were, okay, I could never live there because even though climatically, it's coastal, as a mild maritime climate, which is genetically what I am made for, but the lack of public transportation. If I were to move to Europe, my options would be Madrid, Bilbao, Lisboa, or Porto. Obviously, if I were to move to Europe, I would go to the Iberian Peninsula because that is home for me. And it feels like home. But I couldn't go to my home region because of the lack of infrastructure, lack of economic opportunity, and the poverty. Like, I'll visit back home, I'll visit Galicia, but in terms of living there, I don't know if I could. And that's my ancestral homeland. That's like if you look at the last names in my family tree that are Spanish, all of them originate in Galicia. If you look them up on Heráldica Familiar, which is a website you can use to research the meaning of last names, and the origins of different last names in Spanish, you will see that all of the ones that are in my family originate in Galicia. Like, I have a vested interest, or the majority of them, because there is Aragon, which is from the town of Fraga in Aragon. But you understand, I have a vested interest in Galicia and in making it better, more so than in Alaska. And I was born in Alaska. Why? I have deeper roots in Galicia, particularly in the Urense and La Coruña provinces. So that's why. And to a lesser extent, Pontevedra. So there you go. And that's just me drawing the comparisons. So there you go.